All right, guys, this video is going to show you how to write a service call invoice for an overtime call. So something that's going to happen after hours or on the weekends, not during typical 8 to 5 time. These service calls are going to be labeled urgent and red. That's going to be how you're gonna know that they are overtime approved. You're going to open that up. We're going to change our status to traveling. We're going to save it, and just to go through the motions here, we're going to change it to working once we get to the site. We've driven all the way to the site. Look at that. It's OT approved. It's another reason that we know kind of what's going on here. And we're going to get kind of right into the invoice, right? So this one, the back of the house is very warm. Okay. So let's go ahead and edit the invoice, add item. Like I said, we always start with our HIST code. Put that on there. All right, so call for back of house very warm. Upon diagnosing, just every time that same format, found the following. All right. No, I don't know why it wants to go to emojis every time I do that there. This time we found an issue with AC number 2. So we found AC number 2. Found compressor off on internal overload. Found seized condenser fan motor. Replaced condenser fan motor. Capacitor and relay. So we really like the practice of replacing the blade every time you replace the motor. However, on an overtime service call, we just want to get the unit back up and running. There's no sense in going and opening up a supply house for a blade if you do have the fan motor, the capacitor, and the relay on your truck already. We just want to get them operational. Unit operating properly at this time. All right, same thing. So how did you find it? What did you do? How did you leave it, right? So how did we find it? We found the compressor was off on internal overloads, found a seized condenser fan motor. We replaced the condenser fan motor, and the unit is operating properly at this time. All right, so we want to go ahead and we hit save and add. All right, so to look up truck stock parts, you always want to, everything on your truck starts with a 55, or if it's a spiff, it starts with a T55. So we want to look at our motors, right? So we're going to go with 55 MTR, right? Because that is the beginning of the motors here. All right, so like I said before, the T55 represents anything that is a spiff item, which means that you're going to get paid a little bit extra to replace those. All of our motors on our truck are actually spiff items. I believe they pay you $15 or $20 per motor. You got to take a look at your truck stock list. But let's say this one, we use this 3rd horsepower T55 MTR 450, right? So we're just going to go ahead and click on it. We're going to save and add. Also, we used a 10 microfarad capacitor. So if this is the way that you want to search it, that's fine. You just always got to make sure that I took everything off of my truck, right? So none of these are part numbers that are on my truck, right? I have to go down to T55 cap 286, 287, 288. And so I used a 10 MFD. So I want to go ahead and click on the 10 MFD down here, T55 CAP 288. Save and add. And then we also replace a relay. So let's go with 55 relay, see what's on our truck. All right, T55 relay 121. All right, so I'm getting a spiff for each part that I actually used today. This will just kind of take a minute here. I don't know why our parts aren't quite showing up yet. Maybe they will in a second. Anytime we replace anything that has, I always say anything that has wires coming out of it, we want to always put down this electrical code, right? ELEC, it's a standard billing code. We're going to charge $21.53 to every customer every time we replace anything that, like I said, has wires coming out of it. And we do that so that way we can pay for spade connectors and different wire that you guys need, wire nuts just to fill those electrical boxes. All right, so we got our history, and we got our parts. We want to get our labor in there. All right, so this is the thing that's a little different about the labor. So when we do an overtime labor call, we're going to put an LABOT. Okay, search. All right, so it says technician labor overtime. You're going to click on it. All right, so the weird thing about ESC and Desco is that we cannot set a overtime price for the labor. We can set a labor price for each customer. However, the overtime labor price, you cannot set. It is the same as the regular labor. So you guys got to do the math a little bit. This one's not too tricky, and you guys will quickly realize the math of a lot of our customers that, overtime rate for a $78 customer is $117. Overtime rate for an $80 customer is $120. An overtime rate for a $95 customer is $142.50. It's time and a half, so 1.5, so $142.50. And we were there for 4 hours. Like I said, on the weekends, when we're making your guys' calls and we're doing them from our iPads or our phones, we're not able to add the truck charge. So you guys actually have to add the truck charge in here. It'll say in the customer notes exactly what the truck charge is. So if you go back, you can see normally it's 45, 30, or like TJX calls, it's 78 actually. But $45, we'll hit save. So now we got our history, we got our parts in there, we got our overtime labor, we got our truck charge. Oh, we got to do our PT code here. PT code. All right, so AC number 2. Discharge. All right, so this is a 410 unit. So we're going to go 416. Normally you guys be taking these off your gauges, not making them up like the way that I am. Suction pressure is a 123. Supply temperature, we're going to go with 51. Return, it was 74 degrees. And our ambient, looks like it's probably about 95 considering our discharge pressure. We'll go ahead and hit save. And that is our full invoice right there. Oh, no, got to remember we got to enter that COVID thing, right? Because we're not obtaining a signature. Sorry, I'm just getting used to not obtaining a signature here. So same thing, manager. We spoke to Andrew Bryant. And like I said, first name, last name, time in, time out, 10 a.m. and time out, it was 2 p.m. All right, save that. All right, now we have a complete invoice. Okay, so we're going to back out all the way. We're going to change our status. If you guys still got like a long ride home, at this point, what you're going to do is just want to go to off job, right? And let's say you have a 2-hour drive. Well, about an hour into the drive, you're going to have to switch it back to traveling, so that way you get paid for that extra hour or however much time over that hour that you're traveling. And then once you get home, you can go back into your status. You can complete it. Hit save. Before it asks you, yes, we're okay with not obtaining a signature. We do want to proceed. And we're going to go back out to our main page, and our dispatch should be gone. All right, that's it for making a service call invoice on an overtime call.